What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. But first things first, let's dive into Google Maps here, or Google Earth rather. I am going to take you on a full map tour of Rochester, New York. So one thing to note when I'm talking about Rochester, New York, a lot of the people, when they talk about Rochester, New York, they talk about the surrounding areas, not necessarily inner city Rochester or center city Rochester, if you will, but we're talking about the Rochester area, the greater Rochester area. So just like if you're talking about where you're from, say you're from Houston, you say the greater Houston area or the Houston area, you're probably in a small suburb right outside the city rather than being right inside of the main city. Same thing here with Rochester. So, when we're talking about, oh, I'm from Rochester, to an outsider, that might mean Henrietta, or that might mean Brighton, or that might mean Pittsford, right? So keep in mind, when I'm saying Rochester, I'm meaning the outer kind of areas, the suburbs, if you will, rather than the inner city. So first things first, let's go into Brighton. Brighton is the suburb closest to Rochester, the city of Rochester. And Brighton's a really cool area because, number one, it's the hottest school in the Rochester area, meaning it's one of the most popular. You have private Catholic schools, McQuaid High School, and then you also have a few other private schools in Brighton, but overall the Brighton public school system is ranked number one among niche.com among schools in Rochester. So that is an A+. Now Brighton is filled with parks. You have the 12 Corners kind of plaza there that has I think it's right here, actually. This is the 12 Corner. So you got like pizzas, you got Starbucks, Bang. One of my favorite restaurants is not necessarily a restaurant, but it's am I on the right area here? It is right here. So one of my favorite restaurants is Core Life Eatery. A lot of people might call it rabbit food, but it's healthy options. So I don't know if there's Core Life where you guys are from, wherever you're watching this from, but I like to get one of the steak bowls. It's lettuce and greens, but then it's got steak and blue cheese, and it's got a bunch of protein in it, so it's really good. My wife really likes it because everything there, besides their bread, obviously, is gluten-free, and my wife has celiac disease, so we like to go there. That's one of our favorite spots in the area. But obviously you got a bunch of different Thai bistros, you got Five Guys, so all sorts of different restaurant options. Not to mention, though, that Brighton is really, really, really close to Strong Memorial Hospital. So Strong Memorial obviously is right here, you can see that. So from 12 Corners, you just follow Elmwood Ave right over to Strong Memorial, and you have a Barnes & Noble over there. You have more restaurants over here by this intersection here. So all of these are like restaurants. You got Barnes & Noble, you got the Hilton Garden Inn and Starbucks, and this Beerhead Bar and Eatery, and then obviously your cheaper stuff like your McDonald's and Dunkin' and Wendy's. And so this is a big popular area. This is called College Town. So College Town, being that it's right next to the University of Rochester, this is where a lot of people like to go and hang out. So you got the distillery over here. So this really is a great area. Brighton is so close to literally everything, as far as the city goes, and you kind of get a kind of like a city feel. It's a little bit more hustle and bustle in Brighton rather than some of the outskirts like Mendon or Rush or Henrietta area. It's just a lot kind of more packed in, if you will. But the housing market in Brighton is booming. You're talking anywhere from 150,000, maybe slightly less, but I'm talking for something that's livable, move-in ready, 150,000 upwards of, you got some $1 million properties in Brighton. So, I'm not too familiar with this street, but let's drop a little guy here on Buckland Ave and see what this real estate looks like. Don't mind the glitchy kind of slow computer, but here we are. So these are some of the houses in Brighton, and actually this is a good representation of Brighton because although you're so close to the city, things are still very green, very park-like. It's a lot like Pittsford, if you will, where there's a lot of trees, and just the colors of Brighton are just amazing. But you got a lot of these kind of more historic looking homes, a lot of cobblestone, a lot of Tudor type houses. So, you know, like I said, anywhere from 150 upwards of $1 million depending on where you are. But let's round the corner here. I'll show you a few more houses. So again, you know, this is actually a great example. Brighton is very walkable. It's very, you know, it's a safer area, although it's so close to the city. It's one of the safer areas in the Rochester area. So, you know, you will see a lot of people walking their dogs, going on family strolls, you know, with the strollers and stuff. And so, really great area. You know, you see this flag over here. So the Brighton area is very kind of like trendy, very, you know, cultural and just open to all kinds, people of any race, religion, color, creed, sexual orientation, what have you. So Brighton is definitely one of the more open-minded areas. So if you're into that kind of thing, definitely don't hesitate to reach out. That number and that email, it's popping up on the bottom of your screen. I'm the guy that answers those text, emails, and phone calls. But let's zoom back out here and go back to some of the more surrounding areas. Got some slow connection here today. That's all right. So that's Brighton. Let's kind of reorient here. Not to mention, Brighton has Wegmans. They have the Whole Foods market is right there, and so there's a lot of stuff in Brighton. The Arondo Country Club is right around there. Got Monroe Golf Club. So everything is close by. This is getting into Pittsford here. So you see Pittsford down here. St. John Fisher is kind of in that area, and Pittsford honestly is one of my favorite areas around Rochester, because everything is so park-like. Like it's an amazing. You can go back to the past couple videos I did Pittsford, or I reviewed Pittsford. It's an amazing town. It's a little bit more upscale, so you will find a lot more $1 million houses in the Pittsford area. But that's great for your home values, because obviously that's going to boost your home values. So if you're in one of the lower end areas, or not lower end, but more reasonable areas, not necessarily luxury level, say 150 upwards of 350, 400, 500, those homes are going to boost the value of your home. And so, you know, that, in not to mention Pittsford schools. So you have Pittsford and Sutherland, then you have Pittsford Mendon schools. So you got two different school options depending on where you are in Pittsford, and they're both top tier schools. Again, so I'm just going to mention this right now and kind of get out of the way. All of the schools in the Rochester area are going to be top tier schools. So depending on where you're coming from, chances are schools here, I'm going to say it, are going to be higher ranked than the schools where you're coming from. Not to say where you're coming from is bad or poor or whatever, but the schools here are probably just better. It's as simple as that, and I believe that. So Pittsford is an amazing area. Like I said, everything's very park-like, and you can go to the past couple videos that I did on this channel, and you can get kind of a highlight of Pittsford. But let's zoom back out so you can see kind of where Pittsford is in comparison to Brighton and everywhere else that we're going to be talking about. So Brighton is here. Your Rochester city is here. So Brighton is obviously very close here, but then you have Pittsford right here. So Pittsford kind of connects to Brighton, and you got Trader Joe's right in between. You got Oak Hill Country Club. The PGA Tour was just in Oak Hill this year. It's been there many times in the past. A lot of high-end celebrities come out. A lot of the Buffalo Bills come out. Josh Allen will go play Oak Hill a lot of the time. So very popular. If you get a membership here at this country club, it's a little bit expensive, but you're going to meet some high net worth individuals. It's a great place to network if you're into that type of thing. So Oak Hill is just awesome. Thornell Farm Park, awesome place. You got Wegmans here over by Pittsford. So Pittsford on the east end connects to East Rochester. So East Rochester is a very kind of small area, and it's a little bit lower in value. The schools there, you know, niche.com will say they're not as great. They are still awesome schools, but you know, niche.com will tell you that it's not as good as Pittsford or as good as Brighton or maybe as good as Fairport or Penfield, right? But still a great option. It's a lot more affordable. You're going to look at a lot more houses down in the 150,000 to 300 range. It's going to be quite a bit more affordable than other places like Pittsford or Brighton or Penfield even, or Fairport. So East Rochester is awesome. Again, you have a Wegmans there. St. John Fisher is right nearby. You have a bunch of golf courses surrounding you, and then you have these ballparks here as well. So East Rochester is a great affordable option if you're looking for affordability with proximity to a lot of different things. East Rochester is right there. So moving out, let's go back down to, so we were just in East Rochester here. Let's go to Fairport, because Fairport's one of my favorite areas and towns. So Farmington is the actual town. Fairport is the village of Farmington. So a lot of locals use them interchangeably, if you will, and but it's just amazing. You have the riverway here, so or the canalway rather. This is the Erie Canal, and so this bridge, you kind of got your like main street area here. There's a lot of shops and restaurants and bars and coffee spots and what have you all along here. You got obviously your China King, Salvatore's Pizza. You got farmers markets. I think it's every Friday Fairport does a farmers market, and so it's really amazing. It's a small town community, and your real estate prices, you're looking for something that's like livable and like comfortable, really maybe 175 to 200 upwards of, a lot of Fairport, you're talking in the $1 million as well. So really great area. You got the cannery over here, so you have Iron Smoke Distillery, you have Fairport Coffee. This is a really cool area. If you go to go back to the beginning of our videos, my brother and I did our video in this area, and it's just a great area. You have the beer company, the distillery, the Fairport coffee place. You have the Fairport Village Inn over here. So really cool area. The only thing about it is, if you notice here, there is a train track. So that train track is fairly active. So you got trains going multiple times a day. So if you're one that wants to get away from trains, I've had some clients who every house they've ever been in has had a train track near it. So they're just done with it and they want to be away from train tracks. Don't go, at least in the village of Fairport. Kind of get out into Farmington and you'll get away from it. So that's Fairport. Going a little bit north here, northwest-ish, you have Penfield. Penfield is amazing as well. You got a lot of kind of like industry here. You have a lot of car dealerships. You have the Panorama Plaza. But then you have a bunch of really nice local restaurants, local bars. And what's cool about Penfield is that you can take one road, it's at Atlantic Avenue, and take it all the way into the city of Rochester. So super ease of access there. The one thing I would say about both Fairport and Penfield is that getting anywhere but Rochester will take a little bit longer. And I mean, you can tell it's not that far out. So when I say longer, maybe you're talking about an extra 10 minutes, but just because it's a little bit off of 490. So you're talking from the heart of Fairport, you're talking a 10 or 15 minute drive to 490, but then you're also talking 10 minutes to wherever else you want to go. So it's really not bad. Or you can take 31F and go out to Macedon or Gananda, or you can go into Pittsford and go to the university area here, St. John Fisher, and then Nazareth as well. So and Fairport has a Wegmans as well. Going down here, going south a little bit, you've got Victor. Victor is really close to where I live. I live in Canandaigua. Victor has Eastview Mall and a Target, Best Buy. You have all your major shopping can be done in Victor. The only thing about Victor is that you're a little bit away from Wegmans. So Wegmans being the best grocery store option that we have besides Walmart, right? So Wegmans is the local favorite for groceries. You either have to go into Fairport if you're in Victor to the Fairport Wegmans, or go into Canandaigua. Depending on where you are in Victor, one of them may be closer. So, you might be talking 15 or 20 minutes, though, to the grocery store. So, a lot of people I know that anywhere that you go within your city, you're talking 45 minutes at least. Here, you can get anywhere that you want in maybe 15 or 20 minutes. So, it's pretty quick, pretty convenient. But within Victor, you have the Farmington area. Farmington can be split between a few different school districts. Canandaigua, Victor, Macedon, or Gananda rather, and then Shortsville, and so or Red Jacket, if you will. So depending on where you are here in Farmington, so if you're up in this area, you're going to go to Gananda schools. If you're down over in this area, you're going to go to Victor schools. If you're down over here, you're going to go to Canandaigua schools, and then over this way, you're going to Red Jacket schools. So depending on where you are in Farmington, that'll determine the schools that you go to. But back to Victor. Victor is awesome. You got Fishers here. You're really close to Mendon. Bunch of golf courses in Victor. So you got Ravenwood. And then you have Victor Hills Golf Course. And I think there's one other, maybe Eagle Vale. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it. But they're awesome golf courses if you're into golfing. But Victor is really close to I-90, which is the main throughway area. And so getting to I-90 is really convenient, and then I-90 will take you to Rochester or out to Syracuse or out to Albany or even out to Buffalo. So super convenient location. I would say as far as convenience goes, Farmington is by far the most convenient location that you can get, primarily because of right here. You have the this is Farmington here. Farmington is kind of split between, you got 332 right here, Route 332. It also turns into Rochester Road and then Main Street, Canandaigua. But if you look, 332 it turns directly into I-90. So whether you want to go east or west, then east or west? Yeah, if you want to go east or west, that'll determine where you end up. So you can go out to Syracuse, east out to Syracuse, or west out to Rochester and Buffalo. So it's just a super convenient. And then obviously you follow 332 down into Canandaigua. Now, getting up into kind of this area here, this is very like your Caledonia, Mumford. So I actually got married in Caledonia. It's a beautiful area, but there's not much around there. You're still very close to Rochester. It's maybe a 20-minute drive into Rochester, but it's very sparse, like spread out. There's not much. There's a bunch of farms, farmland, cows, things like that out in Caledonia, like this area. Same with Leroy. You're getting pretty far out there now. But going up into like Churchville, Chili, Spencerport, these areas, these are great suburbs of Rochester. Really good school districts. And really close proximity to the city of Rochester. Same with Gates. Gates is getting a lot better. I remember when I was growing up, niche.com would have had Gates probably at like a D or an F rating, right? Now it's getting up into the B and the A's. So the Gates area is amazing. Same with Greece and Arondo. Arondo was ranked like the #2 hottest real estate market in the United States. So really kind of popular area. If you look though, you know, Arondo is very densely populated. It's basically like the city. So Arondo you've got a lot going on. You have great proximity, and what's really nice is that you have the Arondo Bay here. So if you're up in along like 590 or Route 104 going into kind of Webster area, the bay is an amazing site. This bridge is one of my favorite views in the area. But then you have Seabreeze Amusement Park. So Seabreeze is awesome. We used to get field trips to go to Seabreeze all the time. You have a bunch of golf courses in Arondo, a bunch of parks and whatnot. Seneca Park Zoo is in Arondo, and then you have the Riverway. So the Riverway really acts as a really cool kind of like, there's a lot of hiking, a lot of trails, so you can take the family for a walk. I would advise kind of pay attention to where you're going for, you know, maybe not so obvious reasons, but because of crime, I guess. So you can look at crime maps to kind of help you with that. But really great area. Arondo is awesome, very popular. Greece, same thing. Greece and North Greece. North Greece is getting pretty far out there. Very kind of spread out as well. But these are very popular areas. We've had a huge influx of buyers relocating and wanting to get into this area. The Amazon facility got put in the Gates area. But just this whole area really is very desirable. Scottsville as well. Scottsville is like it's very spread out. There's not much going on in Scottsville. One of my good buddies lives in Scottsville. I helped him buy a house there, and it's a very small town. There's not much out there. There's not a Wegmans or anything out there. You're going to have to go into Henrietta for that. But it is close to Henrietta. So Henrietta is kind of like a Switzerland, if you will. It's not east, it's not west. It's kind of in line with Rochester and the Genesee River. So Henrietta is a lot more industrialized. It's actually some of the lowest taxes in the area. I think it is the lowest in Monroe County. And so if you're looking for affordability, even with a more expensive house, Henrietta is great for taxes. And so that's really all I got. Quick, kind of down and dirty map tour here. If you guys have any more questions about any of the specific areas that I touched on, or even maybe some of these areas I didn't touch on, like Byron or Bergen or, Leroy or Honeoye Falls or, any of these other areas, feel free to reach out. And so no matter where you're coming from, I would love to help you. I grew up in the area, so I know all of the surrounding areas here, and some of them more intimately than others because of where I grew up, but I know all of them nonetheless. I've sold houses in just about every single one of these towns in the Rochester area, so definitely don't hesitate to reach out. I love helping you guys relocate from wherever you're coming from. That information that's on the bottom of your screen, I'm the guy that answers those texts, emails, and phone calls. Definitely don't hesitate to reach out, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video to the channel. Until the next video, guys, bye-bye.